Hi, I'm Ian.
And I'm Jason.
And this is Ghosts and Bears, the only podcast where we bring you the actual ghost stories
With the actual history.
in the actual place. On this episode of Ghosts and Bears, we're heading out into nature, and very specifically a trail in Vancouver that has been known to not be as kind as one might think. Coming up on Ghosts and Bears. And how are you doing?
Not too bad. Welcome back. Happy 2023. We're sorry we had to take a bit of a week. We were trying to get it done, and for whatever reason, our equipment just got a ghost in it and just did not want to record. It was bizarre.
We had a hellish time, to be honest with you. Technically, things weren't working. For me, physically, things aren't working. They switched my brain tumor medication stuff to another brand, and for the first time in almost 4 years.
Yeah, it's been a while.
My levels are going up. My growth hormone levels, which means my sugar levels are going up, other levels are going down, and it just leaves me completely exhausted,
like dead.
Yeah,
I get that, and I've been pushing to get the episode out, and my poor babe is exhausted all the time, and I get it. So we're trying to get him to the endo to get him on the proper drug. It's because they switched him from a brand name drug for acromegaly to a no name,
which is because the province pays for it, and it is a very expensive drug.
And all of a sudden his levels have been thrown out for the past 3-4 months. So
and not just me. Apparently there are 6 or 7 other people in the province in the same boat. So it's certainly not just me, but I could whine all day about that and then go and have another nap, but that's not going to help what we're trying to do. So we wanted to bring you a story from Vancouver's most haunted.
Yeah, the Grouse Grind.
The Grouse Grind, which is pretty famous. If you're from Vancouver area, you're going to know exactly what we're talking about. And if you don't, well, you're going to find out in story time, because of course we cover the history. Went to the place, recorded the story, all those good things. But in the meantime, what's been going on, Jay? Other than physical challenges and technical challenges, what have we been up to? We had Christmas.
Yeah, Christmas is very nice. It was low key. We didn't want to go anywhere. We didn't want to travel because we've been traveling lots, trying to bring you the stories on site. And, what we found is as interest rates are rising, I mean, we have fixed mortgages on our properties, but there's just other things, externalities at play that are just we made a wise sound in paper, a wise sound investment, and bought a small 6-unit apartment building, October of 2021.
All on credit, I might add. Credit and mortgage.
Yeah, and I've just been paying. I'm paying. Yeah. I'm working so much, and I'm looking at what my work-life balance is, because I want us to do this and I want us to enjoy it. And I'm just done doing all my other jobs to pay for this building.
Yeah, it's a great idea, and I think with the right tenants and the right income, it could work out great for someone. It's not going to work out great for us, and we're not at a place where we can focus much time on it. Let's be honest. Now we are officially doing Canada's Most Haunted.
Yeah, that's actually pretty cool.
Super exciting. And Jason's going to have his first ever photo exhibition combined with the book launch for Canada's Most Haunted in 2025. So
Correct.
That is officially on the books, I guess you can say. We're super excited about that. But that's going to take a substantial amount of time and energy. So yes. Let's get me healthy. But it's good. But Christmas, we were pretty low key. Had one friend over for Christmas dinner. That was awesome. And then my mom came for a visit for over New Year's.
Mm-hmm.
And that was nice to have her here. We took the moms to the Nutcracker,
Yeah.
which was a surprise you
That was
cooked up for everybody.
fabulous.
They were so excited. I really had an insight into how old my mom really is when she said, "Oh, I haven't seen the Nutcracker since 1951."
Yeah. She
like-
said, I want to say 8 years old.
She was 8 and she went to London with her neighbors and she saw the Nutcracker on stage in London. So that was actually really, she was thrilled. My mom's very British,
Mm-hmm.
but even my mom was, I would say, almost glowing after that. That really meant a lot to her. She had an amazing time.
Yeah, and it was.
And then we
it was
had-
a great performance, and thank you, Paul Bashane, for suggesting that. If you're listening to us, we're just trying to put it out there. We're regular people. We're not these ultra rich people that can just fly off the seat of our pants and take off. But
That'd be nice,
we
though.
do try to. We are, what it is. It's like my psychologist told me 2 days ago. Well, no, I guess it's yesterday because it's only Tuesday.
Yeah.
As you get older, it's not the time that you value. It's your energy.
I can attest
energy.
to that.
The
because
energy is what you value.
I used to have buckets of energy. Like I would, even last year. And now with this whole new thing going on with my levels going crazy, I am getting a glimpse of what it's like to not have energy. And it is brutal. I tried to describe it to Jay and I said, it's like I'm wearing a 500-pound coat and I'm walking uphill in cement shoes in a rainstorm with the wind trying to blow me down the hill and I'm carrying 100 pounds. And that's what it's like trying to get through every day. I'm still doing everything. I'm doing my job at work and I'm, making sure we have dinner and the animals are fed. But it's just a struggle, an absolute struggle. So I'm going to just apologize to everybody because I'm sure that comes through. And I want you to know it's not a lack of, I don't want to do this anymore.
oh gosh, no, it's not that at all.
Just trying to find the energy to do it. But we're going to keep on keeping on and keep on doing it and try and, do the best we can for everybody. The other thing we did was we had your birthday dinner.
Yes, that was
Because
good.
you turned how old?
45.
45 on January 3rd. And we took the moms to...
Oh.
You forgot already?
Yeah, I did.
Bouchard Gardens at night.
Duh. Yeah,
The
we did.
Christmas lights.
Surprise them with that. But
They were so excited.
this is how busy I am. I'm go, 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 go. And my birthday was only 21 days ago.
That's so weird.
And I can't even remember literally
feels
3
like
weeks ago.
100
to the day.
days ago.
So yeah, I can't even remember what we did.
I know.
How sad is that?
I know.
It's just, I told Ian when I was resetting over Christmas, I want that apartment building off my books. Done. Gone. I don't want it. It's, we have a property management company that looks after it, but every single month I have to email them or bug them about this or that.
Well, and the other thing was we talked about this while we were traveling in the summer. And we said, well, we'll give it to the new year. We'll give it to the new year and we'll reassess. And we did. And we were like, yeah, no, still not good.
It's in the most ideal planet, it would be fine. But, the other thing is the listing agent wasn't, it was conveyed a little different than it is in reality.
But you know what? We're moving on from that because it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm not too worried. I'm sure it will sell pretty easily. It's a great deal. But yeah, we're just trying to, we're going to be making changes in our lives.
I think we want to simplify.
Yeah, we're just going to be doing things smarter. And thank you for sticking with us. And thank you for being with us on the adventure. And we're excited to bring you some fresh new stories with fresh new history from fresh new places.
Yes. And
so that's kind of what we're hoping to do. We also have some really cool things coming up.
Yes.
Very cool things.
Very cool things on a shift to the positive.
Yeah. We're going to be heading off to Vancouver.
Yep, that's right.
To help out the lovely Lydia, who runs Vancouver Ghost Tours. Lydia gave me some great stories for Vancouver's Most Haunted. She asked if I'd be on a panel for people talking about messages from the Dead, I think.
But we've had some pretty cool episodes.
But what makes it super cool is that it's at Fan Expo, which is apparently the Canadian version of Comic-Con. And who's going to be there?
Wow. Gates McFadden.
Yep.
Brent Spiner.
And Jonathan Frakes. And a bunch of other people who we've never heard of. But
that's pretty cool.
We're mostly just excited to see the Star Trek Next Generation people because we're kind of nerds that way. So
that'll be fun.
It will be fun. I'm looking forward to that. That'll be a fun weekend. We've got some other exciting, surprising things coming up in February as well, which we'll talk about after they happen.
Yeah, actually, it's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. But no, things are good. Things are good. And I'm excited because I think 2023 is the year the Calgary book gets done, right?
Yes.
And you took all those great pictures for it.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to see it published.
Yeah, me too. So that'll be out next year, but this is the year it gets done. And then we'll also be doing our research and travel for Canada's Most Haunted, which beautifully segues into this podcast.
Yeah.
Because we'll be able to record stuff like in the Maritimes.
Yeah, actually, we're pretty excited about that. We'll be able to bring you stories from the actual other side. So there'll be a blend of from the actual place and from the place.
Yeah, exactly.
So we got approved for some government grants, both Ian and myself as artists, to be able to bring these podcasts to you in a cooler way.
It's going to be for travel and research for the book, but we figure we could sort of double
down.
Leverage that.
I spent all this money on these fancy recording gizmos. They better be used.
We've fully backed our own travel and our own, with the help of our patrons. We've fully backed our own travel. We've bought new mic stands. Jason has improved my computer to the 9th degree, and he even finally got it working properly by simplifying it, which I'm so thrilled about.
Ironically enough, I think in the simplification is the reason why I broke it yet one more time.
It's going great now, though.
It seems to be working. But yeah, I was trying to simplify and get Ian's computer working well. And the thing is, I bought these studio monitors from Focal, from Atlas Audio, and I spent 6 hours trying to get the silly things working. They wouldn't work.
Nope.
And they're professional Focal monitors, and they plug in. In theory, they're plug and play. Literally, they XLR inputs. Everything is supposed to be boom, boom, boom.
But in reality,
I spent hours and I couldn't get them working. And I adjusted so many settings on the back end to go back to the standard speakers. Ironically enough, I wrecked everything.
And I have to say, I have never seen Jason not be able to get something to work. And when we took them back, the guy in the store is like, "Yeah, well, there's a 45-minute tutorial on it on YouTube." But I'm like, they're speakers. We're not, using a laser cutter here.
Yeah, I was actually like a little bit brought back by that because I'm a regular frequent customer of Atlas, but they're good speakers. But
you got some great ones. You upgraded the ones I have.
As part of the bonus is like he's like here's a YouTube video he sends me via email, and it's literally 45 minutes of troubleshooting. And I started playing it, and I'm like, no. I'm just going to bring it back because I was starting to play with drivers.
I know.
I was starting to disable things, and that's the end result. To get it all back and working, I must have disabled too much. But I was playing with stuff on the back end of the BIOS.
So this is what was happening over Christmas. This is what happened when we tried to sit down and record.
And then, ironically enough, Ian gets some of it working again, which is great. But then when it comes to recording, everything was mucked up, and I'm like, my gosh,
it was bad. So then we just walked away from it because we just couldn't do it. And frankly, when you have no energy, even a little road bump like that, where normally I'd go, no, we're gonna do it. I just looked at Jay and I went, I can't do this. I got nothing left.
And so the irony is now I've bought him a little MacBook Air. So if we're traveling, I think it'd be easier. We might just need to figure out how to get this system to work with the MacBook Air, but I've heard good things about the Macs. I think it'll be easier to upload. We'll see. We'll compare it to the PC. You guys let us know if the PC is better for the Mac.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, hopefully you won't be able to tell. That will be the real.
The ideal thing
Yeah,
was
that
there's
would
not going to
be-
be much difference between the two.
No,
but
no.
this system is great for the standalone recording here. But for portability, Mac rules. So.
Yeah. So thank you to everyone for your continued support.
And thank you for your patience with us.
And your
this-
patience, yeah, because we feel bad. Like I do. I feel really bad. And I'm grateful to the people who are still sending in their stories. So
Yeah,
please
thank
keep
you.
doing that. Also, do remember, we're looking for people who want to be on the show, just in terms of sharing your history, your ghost stories, your place with us. They don't have to be your stories. You just have to be in the place where they're at.
Please.
That's
please
all we're
let
looking
us-
for.
We'd love to have you on the show.
Yeah.
100%. We can set up Zoom meetings or
Whatever, we'll figure it out.
Modern seance,
whatever
you
works
know?
for you. Yeah. So this episode, we are looking at something kind of cool and fun. We are going to be doing, this Grouse Grind. If you don't know what it is,
yeah.
it's nature, and nature is so much darker than we realize.
Well, nature's nasty. I mean, there's a good reason why we have the amygdala, the fight or flight response. Actually, in fact, that's
and why we live in shelters.
the reason why, if I remember right. I mean, this is going back to psychology a long time ago, but the reason why we're sensitive to blue light is because of
Aliens.
twilight, starlight, moonlight. You know, it was normal for us to be startled in the night and fight or freeze.
That makes sense.
If
yeah.
there's, I mean, that's when apex predators are hunting.
That's when
things
I'm
are
hunting.
resting.
I'm hunting in the fridge.
So
100%.
it's funny because I just saw this comedy, or what was the comedy? It was recommended to me about camping, and he was like going on about camping. If you own a house and you have a roof over your head, what's wrong with you? You already have. Why would you sacrifice your bed to go in a little trailer to the middle of nowhere when you have a comfortable bed, heat, hot water, shower?
This is the thing. We've made it into a desirable thing to do where people want to do this. But really, we're not just going into quote unquote nature. We're walking into an environment that we're not used to. We're not ready for. I remember we'd go to camp every year. And one of the speeches they'd give to the camp kids was, oh, don't worry if you're stumbling and tripping everywhere. It'll take a while to get your nature feet.
Yeah, that's
And
good.
that's 100% true.
It's very true.
It would be about 24 hours before you quit tripping over rock, because we're so used to walking on perfectly smooth surfaces and smooth sidewalks and smooth roadways that it would take a while to get your regular feet back. And I never even thought of that, but we're not used to it. We're not aware of what we're walking into. And there's so much more in nature than we even know. It's not just the animals. It's, other people. But you just think of the countless thousands of people who walk into the woods or go on a trail or go camping and no one ever sees them again.
Yeah, it's almost like going into the void or the abyss.
It's pretty weird.
And I've done a lot of camping. I've done a lot of, traveling around with my little trailer. I mean, it is definitely freeing. I will give it that. But if you're out there, it can be risky. I mean, it's nature. It's not meant to be friendly. It's not like you can walk up to a black bear and just pet it and say, "Hey, what's up?"
Well, you could.
May not like it so much.
Wouldn't be wise.
You might get some teethy action.
I've even had times here, like in our little cul-de-sac, where, and it was only once, and I was crossing from our neighbor's house, because we have a neighbor about 3 doors over, Michelle, who we love, and we go over and have a little kitchen party at her house.
Yeah.
And, have a few drinks.
Hi,
And,
Michelle.
Hi, Michelle. And I remember you were still there, and I was tired. I was walking home, and I only had to walk across the cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
But we live in a very rural place. Like, we back onto the woods. We're very close to a lake. We have a river nearby. We have bears and cougars and raccoons and all those things around us.
And deer. Lots of deer.
Lots of deer.
In the spring, they're always... It's interesting because they end up in backyards. But if you ever watched a deer, it's bizarre. They're, they could be 4 or 5 feet at the shoulder. And you can have a very high fence. And it's shocking if you watch them. They can literally just walk to the fence, because I wonder how they clear our fence to get in the backyard. They can literally just walk up to it and go boing, and they're in the backyard, and you're like,
Well,
wow,
I
the
wasn't
launching power.
I wasn't nervous of deer that night.
No,
but
it wouldn't be deer.
I was walking across. I got about end of Michelle's driveway, and it hit me this incredibly strong feeling of dread.
Oh yes, I felt it.
Something is wrong. Something is not right. I am
like
being
eyes
watched.
are looking at you.
Yes,
I have felt that when I come home.
I trucked it back to our house, and I don't know what was out there. I still don't know what was out there.
Well, I think it's that little teeny park that's literally across in the other cul-de-sac. So
you think they hang out there like cougars, or do you think it's more behind us?
It could be. Well, there is behind, but it makes sense because that house and all the little park and that little lane thing are all somewhat connected.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. I've definitely felt it too. Anyways, it's unnerving when you hear.
Well, and that's in literally our own front yard.
Yes.
Like, what are you going to do? I've been in nature where I've had to go, from the campsite to the bathroom because that's about as nature as I get. And that's pretty hardcore. What? They don't provide firewood? Savages. But I've had to do that walk at night and felt very uncomfortable in the darkness, knowing I'm not by myself. Yeah. So there's definitely something going on with nature. And this story in particular... I guess what made it so different was I didn't see it coming. I didn't, it's not your typical haunted house story. This is a very, very, very popular trail. It's in Vancouver.
Nature-based, yeah.
It's nature-based, but yes, it's in the city. The city butts right up to it and around it, around the base of the mountain. But it's still very much nature.
It's Grouse Mountain, but the trail's called, I think, the thing is called Grouse Grind.
Yeah.
And it's very steep, and people have lost their lives on it, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, through misadventure or poor
heart
health,
attacks,
or a lot of jammers.
Jammers.
A lot of jammers on the mountain. Yeah,
if you suddenly have the inkling to lose weight post New Year's and post drinking festival, and you just say, I'm going to do the Grouse Grind. Probably a bad idea.
I don't think I would do the Grouse Grind right now.
But yeah, we're looking at our holistic health. Like Ian's working with his meds, but I'm looking at mine. I woke up 45 and realized I don't like my weight.
Yeah, no, both of us. We're actually doing really well.
We're down.
Weight.
I'm down 8 pounds.
Yeah, I think I'm down about that 10. Too. I'm down about that too.
And continuous. Like it's not going to be, it's just the month of January. We're actually looking at holistic changes.
Yeah.
And part of this is letting go of. It was sad because poor Ian, he was pretty sad about letting the apartment building go. Like this is a very good retirement thing, this is that. And I said, you know what? I want, despite us having a fantastic interest rate, because I really negotiated Royal Bank down, I said, it's about heading it off at the pass. It's about, there's little things always with this building that seem to crop up monthly. And I don't know, maybe there's a ghost in it. Maybe they don't like us. It was owner owned. And actually, true fact, it was the original owner. And then a lady bought it and literally owned it 10 months to the day.
Yeah, that's true.
She let go of it. She acquired it January 15th, 2021. Our date of possession was October 15th, 2021.
Yeah.
10 months to the day.
Yeah.
So maybe there is something wrong. Because my mom did us a big favor. We had to get rid of really bad tenants. So she moved into the suite and occupied it. So thank you, Mom. Anyways, she said there's pretty horrible...
There's some weird energy.
Horrible energy, like bad, negative. I don't know,
yeah.
But maybe that's why the lady actually really gave it up after only 10 months.
I don't know. I mean, on the plus side, we are well on our way to divesting ourselves of it.
Want to move it on.
So we're gonna get. It is in nature, so that does, I guess, tie in.
As a matter of fact, it really is.
It really is in nature. It's very close to the airport, and it's surrounded by trees and backs onto the ocean.
It is a beautiful property.
Yeah, it is. It is really neat. Anyway, we are going to be talking about that. So it's not just nature where you're in the middle of nowhere and you're hiking for 3 days on the Appalachian Trail, although those books are amazing that I've read about. This is nature within the city. This is when you are cut off from other people, what else can happen, and things can happen. And so wherever you are, if you've got a large nature park nearby, or a canyon or a river walk or whatever, there can still be things going on. So we've got that story for you, and when we come back, we will talk a little bit more about what's going on, what's coming up, and some other stories we're going to cover on this season of Ghosts and Bears. So here I am at the Grouse Grind, kind of not nowhere near like up it, but off to the side in the trees. I can see sort of brightly colored jackets going past, that kind of thing, but I'm certainly nowhere near going up it. But I thought this was a really interesting one, and that's why we chose it, was because it's a really weird thing when the forest, it feels like, or nature or the wilderness is out to get us. And I don't know, I think the Grouse Grind kind of fits in there. And I think because what's so interesting to me is it's not just about this place that's out there, quote unquote. It's like right in the city. If you get a chance, Google it, look it up, because it is right in the city. It's right there, and yet people treat it like it's just another path. But it's a mountain, and things go wrong. So I'm going to be actually just going to tell you the story right in my own words, right out of my own book, Vancouver's Most Haunted. And I'll just start reading it now for you. The Grouse Grind. What started out as a challenging footpath has turned into one of the most popular places for fit, active people looking for a challenge that can be tackled in 90 minutes or so for the average hiker. None of those words apply to me. At 2.9 kilometers, it's not that the Grouse Grind is long, it's more that it's a relentless journey up. Nicknamed Nature's Stairmaster, the trail has been used since 1982. But Grouse Mountain itself is no stranger to human activity either. The first hikers arrived at the top of the mountain in 1892 and named it after all the birds that seemed to be the most popular in the area. The first ski lodge was built by Scandinavians, avid hikers, in the 1920s. Well, I'm sure they still are, but, back then. And in the 1930s, a toll road went in, and soon there was a village made up of a group of cabins at the base of the mountain, and a ski run also situated near the base. The first chairlift was installed in 1949, and this kicked off the growth for the top part of the mountain, with the current facilities showing up in the 1990s. So still relatively new, depending on, I guess, how old you are. As for the Grouse Grind, it got a more formalized look in the early 1980s when Don McPherson and Phil Severy cleared a single-person footpath up the mountain. It made for a challenging trail, but hikers could save their knees by taking the gondola back down the mountain rather than descending on foot, and that was free. If you managed to walk up, you got to go down for free. I don't think they do that anymore, though. The trail grew more and more popular and was formalized in the 1990s. Better marked and wide enough that people could safely pass each other going up or down in a safe and orderly way. Today, the average number of people per year doing the Grouse Grind is more than 100,000, and there's even helicopters going over. It's pretty crazy. But not everyone who started the trail has completed it. There have been at least 11 deaths on the trail since 1999, so not that long, like 24 years. For some, death came for those who were just not fit enough to make the trip, bringing on heart attacks. That would be the way I would check out. Others have died from misadventure, anything from slipping and falling to getting lost and dying of exposure or hypothermia, or getting caught up in a natural event like an avalanche. In any case, a good many deaths on the grind have happened suddenly, and for this reason, the experiences of the living, people who hike the grind, sometimes seem to bump up against the stories of those who never made it home. When people die suddenly, by accident, a crime, a medical event, things of this nature, it seems their chances of becoming a ghost increase. If someone is not aware that they're deceased, they may try to finish what they started, or at the very least try to get home, only to find themselves stuck. Does this explain the odd situations that people have experienced while climbing the grind themselves? More than one person has talked about feeling like someone is following them up the trail. But even with repeated checking, they don't see anybody there. They find themselves entirely alone. And they often write this off as perhaps an animal watching them, or they may feel like they're just getting freaked out, or they speculate that maybe they're just faster than whoever may be back there. When they reach the top, no one even remotely close emerges from the trail. Similarly, people report being sure they hear someone ahead of them, the footfalls making a distinctive sound as they hit the stairs built into the mountain, but they don't see anyone there. It seems that whether you're going up or down and whether you're ahead or behind, the trail is never truly empty. 2 residents of the Grouse Mountain area shared their experience with me. Living in such close proximity to the mountain, these 2 women would often hike the trail together in the summer. They were very fit women. On one such trip, they looked up the mountain and clearly saw a man a few meters ahead who'd not been there when they started out. He hiked a short way and then seemed to just blink out of existence, which would be upsetting, to say the least. It was a bit like a light bulb turning off, they said. Both women described him in exactly the same way. Older, short graying hair, wearing a white shirt, black shorts, and running shoes. Sean, a young man who lives in Vancouver, has hiked the grind only a few times, but he had a bit more of a disconcerting experience. He was coming down the mountain just as it was getting close to dark. He was a student at the time and was unwilling to pay the price to go back down the mountain on the gondola. So he would hike up, grab some water at the washrooms up top, and then hike back down. On this particular hike, he spent a little too much time at the top of the mountains. It was an exceptionally clear day, and he could see further than usual, and as a result, he lingered longer than he should have. Realizing the time, he was concerned about getting back down the mountain in daylight hours, which is also a factor in people getting lost up there. So he was in a bit of a rush as he headed down the trail he'd emerged from that same day. Sean says he was about a quarter of the way down the now abandoned trail because no one was coming up anymore. It was going to get too dark too quick. And he heard a man's voice call, "Help." Sean stopped, unsure of what he'd heard, and listened harder. Again, he heard that same voice call, "Help." Sean called back, "Where are you? What do you need?" There was no response. "Hello?" Sean called again. Still nothing. He figured he must have misheard and began to go down the trail again, and that's when he heard it again. He left the trail to go towards the voice, hoping he could find it. "Hello?" he called. "What's wrong? Where are you?" Again, no response. Just as Sean had reached the spot where he thought he'd heard the call from, it came again, but this time just as far away into the woods as it had been the first time. The voice sounded exactly the same and exactly the same distance away as when Sean had been on the path. It was at that point that Sean felt like he was almost being lured off the path, and with the light waning, he assumed it couldn't be for a very good reason. He couldn't explain why he felt that way, other than it felt very, very wrong and that he was in danger. So Sean headed back to the path and decided he would report the incident when he got to the base of the trail. He made it off the mountain, got back to his car where he'd left his phone. He'd wanted to unplug and carry as little as possible on his climb, and he called in his experience. There'd been no reports of anyone missing yet, and so far that week, anyone who'd gone up the mountain had come back down. But they had Sean describe where he'd been in case a search was required. Sean has hiked the Grouse Grind many times since, but has never had that sort of thing happen again. In 2013, Outside Magazine listed the Grouse Grind as one of the world's top 10 most dangerous hikes. Many people are surprised to hear this, but that may be because of West Coast residents. As West Coast residents, we have grown complacent about the power of nature and forget that it is to be respected, taken seriously, and even feared when appropriate. We name pieces of the mountain for our entertainment or our exercise, forgetting the real danger that we could be in when we set off up the side of a mountain to reach the top. The Grouse Grind proves that even monitored, maintained, popular, and heavily traveled trail can still exact a price. I encourage you to remember those who were lost on this trail as you hike up the mountain. Always show respect for the side of nature we think we have declawed. Unlike a river or lake, the danger of a mountain might not be immediately apparent, but it doesn't make them or the people they've claimed any less real. And in keeping with that, the countless stories of people who've gone on solo camping trips in BC's mountains and are just never heard from again. And no one knows what happens to them. And, I in some ways, it's easier because we can say, oh, a bear, a cougar, they fell in a crevasse or, slid down the side of the mountain, stepped the wrong way. But who knows? Who knows? I mean, who knows if they heard someone calling them from just a little further in the woods? Who knows what came out of the bush while they were sleeping? So, on that cheery note, we have done the Grouse Grind, and now I'm headed back to the warmth and comfort of the desk where Jason and I will discuss this story. Thanks, guys.
And we hope you enjoyed the story. It sends chills up my spine about the guy with the help.
Yeah, the phantom voice. I've had that in the forest. I've had that where I've thought, am I hearing someone call me? And then I kind of talk myself out of it and think it's the wind in the trees or it's the river. But I've literally thought I heard something going on. In fact, in the Alberta book, in the Calgary book, there's going to be a story just outside of Calgary for one of our listeners. And he talks about the farm he grew up on, which was on First Nations territory. Wow. And he grew up very regularly hearing First Nations drumming and chanting just up the hill from his house.
Wow.
And there was nobody there.
That doesn't surprise me.
But it was a powerful, powerful place. In Alberta, if you don't know, hills are rare. So a lot of times
they're not really filled with the sound of music.
No, no, the hills are neither alive nor filled with the sound of music. But what would happen is the First Nations people would gravitate towards the hills for any time of war or for a festival or for any kind of like spiritual purpose. They would want to go to the hills because that was going to be the place you want to be. So the fact that they lived up on this hill in basically the middle of the prairies and would hear things like this, and it wasn't just him who heard it, like people complained about it and no one could quite figure out what was going on. They tried to open up a kids camp up there.
Interesting.
Yeah, it didn't go well.
Well, it's strategic that they would go to the hill, especially with warring tribes. It reminds me of that what is it, Chief? What was his name? Yes. In Kitwinga.
Yes.
And
that
here's the irony
amazing.
The irony is I'm part of that tribe. I'm half Scottish, but I'm half Gitxsan. And Ian's actually going to pull that one story up. But we were in Kitwinga, and I could sense it. I could sense the unrest on that hill. There is actually a Canada
national park.
Yeah, it's a national park, but I can't remember the name. I want to say Great Bear or whatever was the chief's name.
Kitwin Cool. It's on the 2023 best places to visit.
Yeah.
Kitwinga.
Yes, Kitwinga is.
But what was it called? It was called like a terrace, or here it is.
Yeah.
Gitwangak Battle Hill.
Yeah, Gitwangak Battle Hill.
It was
ironically enough, it
places
sounds like gach
I've ever
from
and there it is. We'll put a picture of it for our patrons so you can see it.
Battle Hill.
Anyways, I'd never seen anything like it.
Though the tribe had placed itself strategically on the hill for warring tribes
of battle. Yeah.
Yes, and they had these huge logs that were ready to be released. So if these tribes came in waves up this hill, the chief would order them to let go of these multi-ton logs and crush everyone trying to get up the hill.
And because of that, the Gitwanga people were feared And the Gitxsan people were feared and respected, and a lot of times they were in charge. The other group that was warring with them was the Haida, who were known to be incredibly fierce.
I believe the Haida scalped people.
Well, they pretty much ruled the coast. I know that for sure. But they were coming after the Gitxsan people, and the Gitxsan people were like, "Yeah, no, we're not messing with this." And it kind of went back and forth with who was in charge.
Yeah,
it would go kind of Haida, Gitxsan. But the Gitwangak Battle Hill is so cool, and you can feel it.
Yes, I can feel
that energy.
You can feel presences.
Very much so. Very much so. And we went there kind of like near the end of the day. We weren't expecting it to be there. We just kind of went on a drive.
We stumbled upon it.
And it popped out of nowhere. And we were like, whoa. Because, you can really, really feel it.
Yeah, it's a National Historic Site. It was very interesting. And the stairways were done beautifully. It was really... I don't know the word to describe it, but...
You connected with it.
Yes.
Yeah.
On a
whole nother level, an energy level, I would say.
My band is I'm from Kitwanga band, Kitwanga Kitwancool, which is now Gitnyag Gitwangach, and that's about 60 miles east of Terrace. So one of our first episodes was actually with Danny Nunez. That was in Terrace, and then we went off and did our thing, couple business trips. So that's the kind of excitement I want to bring back to the show, is being there on site. And that's the other reason why I told Ian we need to get rid of this building. I'm sick and tired of working to pay for little things at the building. I want to be more active in the show again and be on site with the story times.
Well, yeah, it would be great if you could be there for story times and tell some of the story, because that's certainly been missing. So that's good.
It'll be fun, and a fun element to return to.
But yeah, that was an amazing trip, because we went to that Gitwangak Battle Hill, which was out of nowhere. And the other place that was amazing was Nuayanch, which you know a giant volcano blew up 100 years ago in BC and poured lava everywhere?
Most people don't know about that.
I didn't know about it.
No.
So you drive through the lava fields.
And they're for miles.
And the village is way over 100 years old, but it's called Nuayanch because old Ayanch is under the lava.
Correct.
So pretty cool. Because of it, there's a place called the Drowned Forest, which was also beautiful. I think I saw more black bears on that trip than I've ever seen in my whole life.
Yeah, there were bears everywhere.
I think we saw like 16 or something.
And there's lots of grizzlies up there. I've seen 4 grizzlies.
Remember you were with your mom and you saw the grizzlies, and then your mom goes, those are babies. We need to leave.
Yeah, because there were 2 babies that came out of nowhere, and they're big. They were as big as my Mycroft.
Speaking of nature killing you.
And yes, they came out. They kind of bumbled out of the woods.
And they were as big as your car, and they were babies.
A little Micra. Yeah, I took photos, and my mom said,
"Yikes,
we want out of here." And I'm like, "What?" She said, "Those are juveniles." I'm like, "Oh, what?" Because they were the size of a black bear.
Yeah.
And she said, "It's not normal for grizzlies to be wandering in pairs." And
no.
I'm like, "Oh, that's fair." And she's like, "If they're here, the mom is nearby." And I'm like, "Okay, let's go."
It's time to go.
So that was actually in Nuayanch.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's interesting. But anyways, the whole theme is nature.
It will kill you.
Yes. You have all these apex predators out there, and you have eagles. There's eagles out there.
Yeah.
I've seen tons of eagles.
And like I said in the story, we think we're taming nature because we're naming the lakes and we're building little trails and we're putting up campsites. You're not. We're not taming nature. Don't even think about it.
Maybe we're making the trails just so that the cougars can feast on a deer easier.
It's like a drive-in for cougars.
Yeah, drive-in. Yeah. What
do you want for dinner tonight? You want a deer? So much work. Let's just go to the trail and pick off a human.
Yeah, it's true, right? That's actually pretty funny.
I like them. They're like pre-peeled.
Oh, and speaking of really interesting mind, like mind messing ups like that thought.
Oh, the movie we just saw.
A movie we just saw that we highly recommend.
Jason picked it out of nowhere and he goes, I've got this movie. It's nice and short. It'll be really simple. And I'm like, okay, well, it's pretty late. And he's like, no, it's fine. It's fine. So he picks this movie called
The Menu.
The Menu. Ralph Fiennes is in it. There's a few other actors you'll probably recognize in it.
Okay.
It's messed up. And we're not going to give any part of it away because that would be a jerky thing to do.
But it really is a true summation of mankind today, especially at the end.
It's quite brilliant. It will stay in your brain
for 48 hours. Like Ian actually had difficulty sleeping.
I did. I actually had to I got up at 3:30 in the morning because it wouldn't let me sleep.
Well, the irony is he wanted to go to bed, so he's like, let's shut it down. Maybe I think it was 25 minutes left.
Yeah, I said, let's just watch the end of it tomorrow. And Jay's like, okay, but I'm going to watch it now.
I have to watch it.
He said, I'll watch it again with you, but I gotta know what happens.
I gotta know what happens.
And I'm like, okay, well, you do that. And I just rolled over and tried to sleep. And I never really got to a deep sleep. And then at 3:30 in the morning, I realized I can't sleep. Like this movie, all these elements of this movie, because it was 100% an original kind of movie. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, it's kind of along the lines of Inception or Get Out.
Get Out, yeah, that kind of thing.
It's actually, in my opinion, better.
Well, it's simpler in a way, and yet way more devastating emotionally and psychologically. I ended up coming into the computer room and watching fail videos and Russian car accidents for like an hour to try and distract my mind.
Kind of set in a isolated semi-wilderness setting.
It was. That's true. That's true.
It's for the ultra rich who need to dine on some remote area.
Yeah.
You know, better than what you and I can afford. You know what I mean? It was.
I think in the they said dinner for one person was $1,300, not including the tip.
Yeah,
per person,
$1,250.
Yeah.
But
it was just such a good movie. So if you have a chance and you have the wherewithal to do so, please watch it.
The movie, it's on Disney Plus, actually.
And please reach out and let us know what you think, because
I would love startling.
I would love to hear what someone else thinks of it. We're actually going to have a friend over on Saturday, and we're going to watch it again. We're super excited to do it, which is really funny.
We're really excited. The simpler things in life, right?
Yeah. So
it's fun.
Check it out. But all right, we should probably begin to wrap up. One thing we're going to do, and I did put this on social media, is we're going to move to dropping an episode once every 3 weeks.
So this kind of episode.
Yeah,
yes.
and part of that is just bottom line right now is my health. I would love it if we could get back to every 2 weeks, but I also am aware we have 2 books that have to come out, and the show, believe it or not, takes more prep than you'd imagine, and there's quite a bit of work that goes into it. And so I got to do what I got to do. And I was feeling really bad about it, but someone else said to me, you gotta balance it out.
You have to look after yourself.
And
first.
I'm not good at that. So, that kind of gave me permission to do that. So we're going to move to a once every 3 weeks model for now.
Yeah. And then we'll still release the ghost stories we've heard.
Ghost stories we have heard. We're going to be doing lots of those fun ones for our patrons. So patrons, you're going to get a new episode every week.
Yeah.
But 3 of those episodes will be ghost stories we have heard. And those are fun for us to do. We just go out in the car. We tell ghost stories. We talk about them. Jason usually honks the horn at least once. But those are fun to do. So you should check those out. If you're a patron, take advantage of that. And otherwise, and all patrons get those. Every patron gets ghost stories we have heard.
And they get the merch.
And there's the merch.
The merch that ships out, right?
Absolutely. The merch ships out.
I hope you guys still like our merch.
Yeah. And also, we do have a Redbubble store. If you just want to go and
fun too.
buy a t-shirt, and we make like pennies on the dollar, but it's not the point. If you would like a shirt just to represent, we're grateful.
Yeah, we're not really, we're not like YouTubers making billions of dollars. I would be happy making billions of dollars. You know. Also,
if you want to help us out, please write a review on Apple. Give us a 5-star review. That would be great.
Let us know how we can improve the show.
Just say some lovely things. And if you can't give a 5-star review, send us an email and tell us what we can improve, because we are absolutely open to doing that. Everything's up for grabs, and we are more than happy.
This is season 3, so it's pretty exciting.
I can't believe it's season 3. We came into being May of 2021.
Yeah.
And here we are. So that's awesome. We're going to say thank you to our current patrons. Keep in mind, you want to join our Patreon group. It's just patreon.com/Ghosts and Bears. And the TV show, we're still working on that too. Oh my Lord. Never mind. I'm going to go to...
Well, that's it, right? That's Alex and Chris will be helping us with the TV show. That's the other reason for the shift.
Yeah.
Temporarily to the 3 weeks,
because
we have to get this show on the run.
We do,
and this is the other reason we want to let other things in our. It's like what my psychologist said. There's only so much one can do, balls that we can juggle, and as we get older, it's not the time that we're valuing, it's the energy. And that was literally in yesterday's lesson. It's like, I agree. I have a lot of energy, but I'm also looking at supporting Ian more than just trying to work. And
I'm grateful for that. And speaking of energy, thank you to the following people for sending some of their time, energy, and support to us. We want to thank Amos,
Maria,
Gina,
Elsie,
Elise,
Oh.
Sharon.
Do we want to just read that over?
Nah, it's fine.
Oh,
you're now Elsie Elise.
Sorry, Elise. Yes, my apologies. I can't.
He's reading from a far angle. It's not his fault.
And my glasses are broken.
We got to get new glasses.
Yes, I need new glasses.
I have more benefits.
We have, no, we were out there on the road, and I brought Ian on a great Christmas gift, a pre-Christmas gift that was called Chasing the CP Holiday Train.
Oh,
which
that
he was
so
shocked
fun.
to see.
Was so fun.
The Merry Christmas train. Anyways, while we were on it, my glasses broke, and now I'm using my silly backups that are just terrible, and I haven't
terrible
because I'm so tired. I'm just working. I haven't had time to get new glasses.
My benefits kick in this month.
I'm not worried about the silly benefits. I have 3 benefit plans.
I know. Well, one of them's mine, so you should care about the benefits.
Yeah, but I have 2 benefit plans other than yours. Anyways, long story short, I can't even get new glasses yet because I need to get in. Actually, I just got a reminder to get a eye exam.
Me too.
Yeah, it's already been that long.
I know. We got to go.
So
we got. Back to this. Sharon,
Dawn,
Adam,
Bryce,
Sherry,
Brooks,
Marion,
Kathleen,
Alexa,
Debbie,
Ruth,
Mary Frances,
Gina and Victoria,
Sandy,
Christopher,
David,
Ashley,
Jeremiah,
Elizabeth,
Phoebe Nix,
Melinda,
Jordan,
Tammy,
James,
Taya,
Evan,
Arwen,
Steve,
Kyle and Charlotte,
Catherine,
and Mari. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. We're very grateful.
We are incredibly grateful. And
it's you who keeps us going. Otherwise,
you do.
What would be the point of all this?
Honestly, I
would start up a podcast in 5 minutes talking about global economics. I love economics. I'm very well versed in it.
That would probably
Changes
be a different
in interest
crowd
rates,
than this.
Yeah, 100%. But something I have considered, because I love empowering people with the knowledge of money. There's nothing more important than the time value of money.
That's true. You
and I see through it all the time.
You seem to make money work for you harder than anybody I've ever met.
Well, even my psychologist, Dr. Sloat, thank you, Dr. Sloat. I don't know if you listen to the show. Anyways, she said she has never seen anyone make $1 work like I have.
You do, and I'm grateful because I don't have the energy. All right, and on that lovely note, we want to say Happy New Year.
Yes, Happy New Year. And
we want to say welcome.
2023 goes well.
And welcome to a new season.
Hopefully, we have an endemic around the corner. Maybe, who knows?
Yeah, and we can get this COVID thing completely behind us. And thanks for being you. We're super grateful for everything you guys do to support us and help us out. So yeah, remember, rate and review us.
Let us know how we're doing.
Let us know how we're doing. ghostsandbears@gmail.com. And if you just want to see whatever's going on, just go to our website, ghostsandbears.com, and that's going to have all the links to everything you want to even wonder about.
Yay. Well, that concludes another episode. I hope you like it.
It does. Thank you, guys.
Hope you have a wonderful day or evening or afternoon.
Whatever you're doing.
Maybe on the weekend. Who knows?
Who knows when you're listening to this? But we just want to thank you guys for sticking with us. And, things are changing, but it's not all bad. It's just a matter of adapting to what we've got and moving on from there. So thanks, guys. Have a great week. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.